Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post of Parashat Vayishlach is titled A Lesson in Diplomacy. Because in this week's Parasha we read about the meeting between Yaakov and Esau. That Yaakov has fled for a number of years to survive, to protect himself, because Esau has held on to this desire for revenge, to kill Yaakov for taking the brachas. And finally they're going to meet again, and Yaakov prepares for this meeting. I'd like to focus on this because we see that what Yaakov does is that he sends messengers with a tribute, with a gift, with animals to Esau. And he also says to the messengers, he gives them specific directions in what to say when Esau asks the messengers three particular questions. And I'd like to look at this as a lesson in diplomacy, because the Medrash says that if someone doesn't know the diplomatic ways of a country, they can learn from Yaakov what Yaakov did, how to conduct themselves in an appropriate way. Because diplomacy is not just something which relates to kings and governments and international relations, but it can be something that we learn and can teach us for ourselves, for our own challenges. And these challenges can be something which is external, and it can be interpersonal, or something which relates to an external difficulty or challenge, but also intrapersonal. The difficulties and the challenges that we have as being internal struggles. And what we can learn from Yaakov is the lesson of diplomacy and how to fight our battles. Because it's not necessarily beneficial to go about in an aggressive way, to fight in an active way, but rather sometimes the success comes out from using diplomacy. So let's look at what Yaakov actually did. He said to the messengers, you're going to come to Esau, and he's going to ask you these three questions. I'm still going to detail this and say, you're going to be asked, who are you? Where are you going? And what are these things? Who are these animals? To whom do these animals belong to that are in front of you? So these are three questions, and I think there are three fundamental factors that we can understand in diplomacy and overcoming and fighting our battles in a diplomatic way. So let's look at what Yaakov was saying in these three questions. The messengers are going to be asked, who are you? Who are you is a question of, do you understand who you are? Are you able to identify exactly who you are? What is your personality? What are your strengths and your weaknesses? The question of who are you, it's an analysis. It's not just a question of who are you, what is your name? But rather, do you understand who you actually are? On a psychological level, are you able to identify your unique characteristics and your unique personality, and to understand how to tap into those strengths and to recognize your weaknesses, to really be able to crystallize and understand and be able to answer this question in a comprehensive way and in a precise way? Who are you? And to do this, you can actually go about by writing a list simply on two sides of a paper, writing down your strengths and your weaknesses. In a sense, is understanding who you are and who you are not. And if this is difficult, if it's difficult for you to do it for yourself, going to a friend or a family member, someone who you can be honest, and someone that you trust, who understands who you are and can be brutally honest and to be able to say, this is who you are, this is who you are not, these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses, this is what I admire about you, this is what how you contribute, and this is what I see in you as being a personal individual strength, a person that a friend and family member is able to help you to open up and to tap into your unique qualities. The second question, where are you heading? This relates to what we were talking about last week, is in terms of setting goals and ambitions and aspirations, to know where you're heading, where you're going in your life, being able to set those targets and to look forward and to look ahead and to go in that direction. So this is what the question is, where are you going? Where are you going in your life? And finally, the third question, which in the Pesukim, it's relating to the animals. These animals that are in front of you, to whom do they belong? But it's looking ahead in what we're discussing. It's looking ahead and saying, if you can take the question number one and you can take question number two, that then leads on to number three. If you can understand who you are, what is your unique quality, and you know where you are going, then you can answer this question, to whom does this belong? What is in front of you? Who does it belong to? It belongs to you. You can take ownership on this future direction that you're going. You're going forward, you're heading forward, and you're looking ahead. But you need to understand, who does that belong to you? Who does that belong to? It belongs to you. To take ownership over your life, to take ownership of the direction that you're taking, and to be able to say, it belongs to me. I know who I am. I know what my strengths are. I know what my unique personality is. I know where I am going, and I am taking ownership, and I am connecting with that. this is mine and this is where I am going. So these three elements are vital tools that Yaakov is teaching us for diplomacy, and it's teaching us to be able to succeed in our battles, that we don't always have to go about taking on challenges and taking on difficulties in an aggressive way, in an active way, to fight, to go head on. Sometimes the best way to take on our challenges and to win the battle is to take on the direction of diplomacy. Have a great Shabbos and keep well.